This is believed to be the first lawsuit against President Donald Trump's mass deportation efforts that involves children. So it surrounds the administration's policy on immigrant arrests at courthouses. A mother and her two young kids are fighting for the release from a detention center in Texas. The family says that their arrest came after entering the U.S. legally from Honduras using a Biden-era appointment app. The lawsuit filed yesterday argues that the detainment now violates their rights. Let's talk about it. Joining us now is Chief Legal Analyst Clive Rhodes. So this is unprecedented because this is somebody saying, hey, we did the right thing to be able to get into the country. Now you're telling us we did not do the right thing and we're having to leave the country.
I don't even know if they're saying you didn't do the right thing. The Trump administration ran on the idea of we're going to do the largest deportation issue situation that this country's ever had, and the numbers are astronomical, right? And it was that we're going to go after the criminals and the illegals that have come here, right? The violent. Then they had that one moment where all the pictures of these people that have entered the country illegally that have also committed violent crimes right there on the lawn of the White House to show that these are the people that we're going after. But what we've recognized in the last couple of weeks and maybe say the last few months was that that's not who they're going after. They're going after everyone. And that most recent report shows that only a quarter of the people that they have detained and that are sitting in detention centers have even been charged with a crime. So that 75% for the folks that are mathematicians at home are not criminals that have not committed a crime but are being held. But then if you talk about the folks, because they also said we're going after people that came here illegally. Well, what about the folks that didn't come here illegally, the green card holders that we've seen on college campuses that they've attempted to deport? What about the people that have visas that they've also attempted to deport?
Or in this case here, somebody coming through the Biden era.
A person that came through the Biden era application that also came here legally. So what the Trump administration is doing is saying, you know what, we have a shortcut because we can remove these folks through this quick removal process. We don't even want you to go through the immigration court process. So here's how it happens. You go through your normal process, which you come to this country seeking asylum because you're getting persecuted in another country. People are trying to kill you, right? We're not talking about pretend someone's trying to kill you. You're going to come to America. America allows you to come in and then they parole you into the country saying you don't pose a threat, we'll let you come in here. Then you have to go check in with your immigration officer and have an immigration hearing. Well, at that hearing, what the Trump administration is doing is dismissing the case. They're saying, Your Honor, we don't want to go forward with this case no more, dismiss the case. Then the person goes in the hallway and then they're arrested by ICE and removed immediately. That's what happened in this case, but this isn't the only type of cases where it's happening. It's happening everywhere. These are just the folks to sue. Right.
So since they're the first, do you think they have a case?
100%. I mean, under normal circumstances, a person is entitled to some type of due process. Their due process would have been that hearing. That's why their attorney objected to the case being dismissed. The federal government wanted it dismissed. The judge granted the dismissal. I think they have a case because they were legitimately in this country, were seeking asylum. They have to be able to prove that they will be tortured, killed, or persecuted in their home country, and they will. And so if you are here lawfully and legally and you can show that you will be persecuted, you as an asylum seeker have a right to be here. I mean, oftentimes we keep thinking about this isolationism and nationalism, and I'm glad that folks feel extremely patriotic, but we also forget that we're human citizens of the humanity, like of the planet. And if you're telling me that you're going to send someone else to another country where you know they ultimately will die, and they came into this country legally, that is confusing and concerning on multiple levels. Just look at the facts in the situation. They go out in the hallway. The officer sees them, lifts his shirt up. He's not in a uniform, no type of identification, just plain clothes, lifts his shirt up, has a gun there. The kid starts peeing on himself, and that kid sat in his wet clothes for a day. They only received an apple and a sandwich for that whole time they've been in there. This is the part of the problem that, we're committing crimes and atrocities against people that are looking for freedom.
I got to get this question in there. How do you file a lawsuit when you're not a legal you don't have legal status in the United States?
Well, in this situation, these folks do have legal status, but even if they didn't, if they were a person...
Wait, so they do have legal status?
Yeah, I mean, if you came into this country legally, you have legal status. Okay. You are legally here. You have the same constitutional rights as you or I have. Now, if you came to this country illegally, you still have due process rights. You don't have rights to free speech and all that other stuff like other folks do, but you do have constitutional due process rights.
All right. Clive Rhodes, appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.